having these episodes. He's on drugs. He's on cocaine. He's on alcohol. And it's just all these things that, you know, someone high up in that figure, you know, would like to make excuses. And the thing I respect about Ryan Garcia is he's actually debunking a lot of shit that's actually been going on, that a lot of things are coming behind closed doors. And I'll just touch on it a little bit and we'll dive right into it.
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove, my bad.
Bohemian Grove,
yeah,
right,
Bohemian
okay.
Grove. He's actually witnessed, he's witnessed and seen certain events that have taken hold. I'm not going to reveal too much because we'll dive into it soon. And it's definitely given Ryan Garcia a bit of eye-opening experience. And when you're powerful as a price and you're very faithful as well, you see the demon, you see the devil. And we are surrounded by the devil as far as we can say for sure. So we're going to dive right into it, Jesse.
Well, look, I think, you know, it's a very controversial topic. You know, regarding Ryan Garcia, you know, I've looked a little bit into it myself. You become very skeptical once you've been in, you know, the game for a long time. There's a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that come out and they claim to know, they claim to speak about these things and actually, you know, playing the other side. So I have dived into a little bit of Ryan Garcia. First of all, he seems very genuine. He seems very sincere. I guess when you look into, I guess, a little bit of his background, he doesn't really have any reason to lie about these things.
No, definitely not. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and it's not something that, you know, to come out and say that you've been abused, you know, as a child, to come out and say that you've been, you know, witnessing all these things. You know, you got to look at the perspective. Is like, why is he going to come out and kind of defame himself like that? You know, a lot of people call him crazy. They call him a conspiracy theorist. All these other claims that people that aren't really in the know-how. Yeah, they'll say you're having a mental breakdown. I mean, anyone who hears this in the normal public eye, you know, they would dismiss this completely because some of the facts that get brought out are simply they're simply hard to believe, right? And because they're hard to believe, people won't be able to kind of comprehend, you know, just these things that, you know, being at this high profile place with lots of celebrities there, you know, politicians, presidents, and these politicians and presidents and whatnot, you know, they're raping children, they're doing things of this nature which are being described there. Mind you, Ryan Garcia is not the first to talk about Bohemian Grove. A lot of people who, you know, have studied these things, that we hear people talk about Bohemian Grove, and actually when you study it for yourself, you know, you realize, hey, this place does exist. There is a statue of they do have a statue of Moloch. Yeah, that's literally right in the center, you know. And when you look into the ceremonies that they do, right, it's called the cremation of care ceremony.
Cremation of care. Oh,
okay. Where they go, you know, all these famous people, they go there, and they basically it's to wash away all their, you know, evil doings, all their sins. This is what they believe, and it's called the cremation of care ceremony.
Relinquish their sins. It's another way, like, you know, when people go to church and they confess to the Father of their sins. This is supping, but in a completely different route. And
yeah, so the hour that they've the hour that they've got there is the statue of Moloch. It's meant to represent Moloch, which is an ancient god. And we can see that God being represented in the, you know, ancient Hebrew scriptures.
Wow, that's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Like, the thing is, like, the fact that this is happening at such a higher power as well. I was actually listening to a bit of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's very informative, and he actually speaks on some of this stuff as well. And it was about the what's the famous case on the island? I'm trying to remember the name now. And the celebrities that go on the island and they do all those sex tapes and that.
I think you'd be referencing Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, that's a big one, and that got very public because of certain things did get public, but they're still literally trying to uncover that whole case. Anyway, referring back, the fact that this is happening at such a high power with politics, you know, generals, the fact is, like, you wouldn't think that these people would, you know, be doing this, but the fact is, you know, at the end of the day, people have those tendencies, they have those, you know, thoughts. And when you become way too overcome, and, you know, it is human to have thoughts such as that, but the fact that you're being overcome and persuaded in that factor to go down that road as well, it is really, you know, reference, you know, there's two good sides. There's, you know, God, and there's the devil. And I feel like right there as well, worshipping I'd say a fake god, in all honesty, is, you know, it is a sin, and it is something that's just very out of this world. Ryan Garcia was stating after he saw this, and obviously being a victim of it when he was younger, you know, it is something that, you know, when you see and you process something like that, it's like, oh crap, like I just saw that, you know, it's not like it's just going to go down thoughtfully and you're going to forget about. You know, the thing I respect is he was vocal with his words and he put it out on social media for the world to see. And, you know, he even states as well, human trafficking, sex trafficking is accordingly annually $150 billion per year, which is ridiculous. And you wouldn't even think that. And you know what's even scarier, man? $2.2 million of kids are sex trafficked each year. Each year. And this stuff here is not even being talked about. So why is that? Why is this not being talked about?
Well, it's funny, you know, they have you thinking the cartels are out here making, you know, the big bucks. They never talk about sex trafficking, let alone child sex trafficking. And it really makes you wonder, you know, these like people with lots of money, right? These billionaires, these people who own these corporations, right? What exactly, like how is this being funneled over the top of drugs? You know, this is like a high profile industry here.
Yeah, it is.
So you're telling me some you know, low life off the street who watches this kind of heinous filth, you're telling me that all these people are basically engaging in the largest, you know, syndicate in the world, and all this money is being funneled? There's no way. So it only leaves you with one, you know, and when you get people who, you know, blow the whistle, there's many people who talk about this because they've been trafficked. They've been trafficked to like the White House. They've been trafficked to places like the Vatican. They'll actually tell you that you know, this is very real. It's like when you have maybe 100 people coming out and they're saying it's real.
Wow.
But it's not just that. It's thousands and thousands of people are actually, you know, saying that they've been trafficked. They talk about being trafficked, you know, to these high-profile politicians. Not only the politicians, but celebrities. So none of this is, and the fact that, like you said, you brought up that amazing statement there, that you know, there's all these children being trafficked, and it doesn't get spoken about on the news.
Blown under the whistle, dude. Literally blown under the whistle. Nothing's ever
Swept
mentioned
right
about
under the
this.
rug.
And the thing is, like, I'd say as well, the news is very just formulated. It's formulated. It's propaganda. It's actual non-facts. It's non-factual. They're not really actually discussing what's going on. Better yet, it's all negativity at the end of the day. And that is why I don't even watch the news. Like my uncle, he's dead against the news. Literally was over not long ago, and my grandparents watching like a gamer show. What comes right after the news? It's like, no matter how far you want to get away from it, no matter, you know, how clear away you want to get away from it, it always finds a way to come around.
Well, let's sit down, like you just said. Let's break down what you just said. You have the news, right? Before you have the news, what do they have on?
A game show.
They have a game show. What does the game show do? The game show stimulates your mind and gets you in that frantic state where you're very emotional, right? So it rouses you up emotionally. I know here in Australia, right, they have, I think on Channel 10, and this is a good analogy I use for my mates and, you know, when I'm discussing this with people.
Yeah, of course.
What do they have? They've had this on for the last like 30 years, right? Let's just say maybe 30 years. I'm not too sure, but what's on Channel 10 every night before the news?
Don't have Current Affair? Or was that Channel 9?
No, I think that's after on Channel 9.
Oh, that's after on Channel 9, yeah.
I'm no news junkie here, but
yeah, no, nor am I. I'm
gonna say it's Bold and the Beautiful, right?
Oh, Bold and the Beautiful.
Channel 10.
Yeah.
Right. So we have some high level I guess you could say emotional drama, right? Which gets your emotions, and it sounds crazy, right? But when you actually break it down, it gets you in an emotional state, right? And so when it finishes, it leaves you hanging for the next episode, right? And then what's on straight after that?
The news.
So you're already in that emotional state. Bang, the news comes on.
So they catch you like that.
Right, so they've got you in your emotions, and it's all a part of, like, you know, they've done these experiments through MK Ultra, They've done these experiments. The government and the CIA, they've been working, you know, in unison, hand in hand for years and years and years, you know. So this is all a part of the mind control, all a part of the brainwashing techniques that they use.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I mean, all it takes is someone to, you know, sit back and analyze these things, who thinks critically. And when you break it down and connect the dots, you know, it's all about breaking everything down and connecting the dots.
It all makes sense. And when
you
you're
know,
someone,
one by one.
when you're someone that's like that is caught in the loop, you can fall into that line of, you know, getting home from a daily job. This is talking, you know, probably talking about the average person to a daily life. You know, getting back from work, always going to be facts and news that are going to pop up on Facebook and stuff like that. Anyway, I won't go too deep into that, but the fact is, people are so oblivious to what is going on, and this is the constant thing that is happening every day to day of our weekly lives. I think that's where Ryan came to senses of, you know, this is not normal. What is happening right here is not normal. They're not talking about it, so I'm going to talk about it.